False killers claim name on empty fame, but it ain't the same. Then came the nerd from Waffle Gang with theories that Big Bang. In the third person, the conditions worsen. But get your facts straight first, cause the truth hurts worse than the chest burst in aliens. You can thank me later for saving them. Versus the future, there's no caving in or enslaving them. Just making
influences. I mean, the thing that stands out the most for me, the first influence actually is are like the improv jazz guys. Like, you know, I was introduced to jazz at a very young age, and I always liked the things that broke the rules. So like, while some of the great Miles Davis albums that are more structured, they're great, I'm more into his improv work, more into like the Sun Ra, you know, like those type of guys who broke the rules, like things that broke the rules. And then going from there, of course, the early influences of like Run DMC, KRS-One, but the very first time I heard MF Doom, he changed, you know, a lot of artists, you know, you listen to a lot of things, you say change your life. MF Doom changed the way I viewed hip hop. When he put out Operation Doomsday, that had all these sound bites from the Fantastic Four cartoon, it showed me like you can do hip hop this way. It's there. It can be done this way, and you don't have to stay within the standard, because there's nothing standard about him and what he does. I like boundary breaking. I don't like being constricted, because everything, you know, that you hear on the radio is this formula. It's this amount of bars, here's a hook, and then maybe here's, you know, a transition, and here's this amount of bars, and back to the hook, and that's it, and everything is like the same, especially these days, at least in my ears, the same repetitive, very cookie cutter formula of doing things, and no one like pushes the boundaries. Like, you know, just remember how Tribe and De La pushed the boundaries against what was, you know, being like Curtis Blow and Run DMC, and that, you know, that how they took it there. I'm not hearing that too much anymore, but I like things that push the boundaries. Like, why stay in the box?
Would you say that the underground treats you pretty well?
The underground treats me very well. I mean, if it wasn't for, you know, my small but strong fan base and people who tune into me, I would never get, you know, I got to play Club SOBs in New York. I got to be South by Southwest twice. You know, I've got to travel, I've gotten to meet people. So the underground serves me well. You know, it has afforded me a lot of opportunities to get my voice heard. And, you know, I'm happy with that. Of course, would I like to make it up to the next step? I would, but I won't do that in integrity if I write. You know, I will not put out an album that is full of lies that I need. You know, if I put out an album commercially, I want my mother to be able to look at it and say, well, that's who he is, not these fabricated lies about, you know, being rich or killing or anything like that. It's just not me.
From the mouth of the lion's den, from the mouth of the lion's den. And then we just let it roll out like that. That's my performance time, you guys. Thank you very much.